Pitra Paksha ends on 21st. What can you do? Why is this important? Do ancestors bless you? Do you get curses from them? Are you carrying karmic debt from them? Are you going to earn the jackpot of your life because of them? Are you going to become famous because of them? All of these questions I deal with on a day to day basis from my clients, from my listeners, my viewers. And I thought it's a very important subject for me to talk about today: ancestral blessing and ancestral karma. So it is 21st is going to be the end of the Pitra Paksha. Now the Pitra Paksha is basically a time when the veil between our world and our ancestors gets very thin. Now this is not the only time it gets thin. According to the pagan culture, it starts it there's another period of veil thinning that happens in October. And since it thins at this point, I'm sure that the veil has kind of gotten thinner, and then it just stays thin until Halloween. And I'll come to Halloween towards the end of the video because that's important too. But all of these questions is something that I face where people ask me, oh, what am I suffering because of my ancestors? Am I going to get this because of my ancestors? Do I have good karma? My ancestors suffered. Am I going to suffer? So we need to understand the basic logic and principle behind how we are a product of our ancestors. So basically, it's like a chain, all right? Now, every generation passes on something to the next generation. They pass on grace, they pass on blessings, they pass on divine gifts, and they also pass on all the baggage of the emotional, mental, karmic, spiritual burden also that they carry with them. All of the stuff that they've accumulated in their lifetime, they sort of just give it to you in inheritance. So when you get probably money in inheritance or property, remember you're also getting all of these negative patterns, sometimes curses, sometimes oaths and vows taken by your ancestors are also carried forward by you and me and our children. So it's not just about us going through suffering, it's also our children, right? Like our ancestors gave it to our grandparents, gave it to our parents, then us, then our children, then the future generations. So who bails anyone out? Like who does that? Maybe you, maybe me. And that's a very important question to answer: is why does this happen? Now it's like I said, it's a chain reaction. So whether it is power that you gain, you kind of hand that over. Even if it is leftover stuff that you couldn't complete, or they were oaths and vows you took, you kind of pass them on to your future generations. So now this is called, a whole bunch of these terms are karmic retribution, karmic debt, generational patterns, karmic generational patterns. All of these energies are different types of energies and different types of blocks and karmic burden that we actually take from our ancestors and we complete it for them. Now I'll give you a small example. My grandfather was into the liquor business, all right, and he had his entire lifetime, he created like an empire of this business, of liquor business. And when I was in the year 2005, I worked for a de-addiction center. Now I've been in this space for the longest time, from when I was a teenager, when I was just out of school. And this period of my life, I started working for a de-addiction center because my marriage had just broken and I'd just separated from my ex-husband, and money was an issue. So I used to go and teach meditation in a de-addiction center. And I remember the transformation and the healing. Like I would be sitting in a room full of addicts. This was in Pina in Bangalore. I would be sitting in a room full of addicts, teaching them meditation, facilitating them with therapy, with, soul techniques to overcome all of this. And finally, after about a year of working for them, I ended up leaving. Actually, I was made to leave because people were quitting the de-addiction center faster. So they were losing revenues. So, and that's, yeah, that's the sad part of any industry where you're treating and healing people. If they get fine sooner, then the healer doesn't have work. But for me, that's always great news because I know that that was one more feather on my hat, or that was one more thing that I could do. And I remember my life completely transforming and changing after that one stint that I did. I started noticing so much abundance coming into my life. Now, I did not know so much about karmic retribution, karmic debt, generational patterns, absolving your ancestors' karmic debt. I didn't know all of this at all. Like that concept was not introduced to me yet. This was way back in 2005, right? I mean, maybe the basics, ABC, I knew. But then at one point I realized that, my grandfather, or that generation spent their entire lifetime in, probably making people addicts, and not their fault, people chose it. And I ended up treating them, so somewhere I made up for what was done there. I don't know if that was causing suffering. I don't know if my life was going through suffering because of that. I don't think so. I never got that. But I know that by absolving that one imbalance account, it changed a lot for me. There are other stories of people who have honored their ancestors, done certain rituals for them, and suddenly there was a 360-degree shift. I'm going to share one experience of offering that I did during the Kumbh Mela, the Mahakumbh this year. And I didn't do ancestral offering only for myself. I did it for like the entire Paltan, the whole, everyone, the whole family, the whole lineage. And I did it for everyone in my community. Like, we had a post up there, and I actually made the offering myself with my own hand. And I remember feeling like, it was just like a gateway. Like, I was somewhere else. I was in a different dimension, in a different universe, just experiencing all of the magic of all the higher beings and ancestors. Like, I was sort of like in a portal. I mean, I was just having like a very surreal experience. So after that, things changed so rapidly for me, work wise, personally. It's been like I've not had a breather after that, and I don't know if that's good, but I've not had a breather after that. There were things work wise happening one after the other, and there are so many more changes that you guys will see in the next 6 months. And that was probably because I did honoring not just for my ancestors, but so many ancestors. So a lot of times when something is stuck in some generation, there's suffering that your ancestors are going through, or some kind of a problem, some kind of an energy imbalance, an oath and vow, or something that they lost, or something that happened. Basically, that gets carried on to the next generation, and that goes even for like talking about simple things like mother to daughter, daughter to granddaughter. There are certain values, certain thought patterns, certain things, the way we exist, the way we operate in this reality. That's something we carry, that trauma even we carry from one generation to the other. So energetically as well, we do take karmic patterns from our ancestors, and we kind of end up making sometimes situations come up. We end up choosing certain situations sometimes to kind of complete that karma for our ancestors. So there could be something in your life or in your reality right now that you could be doing or stuck in, or just like you're going through a roller coaster ride, and it's because of that roller coaster that you're facing right now could be because of some ancestral kitch that happened, some lafda that happened somewhere else. Why would you want to suffer for that? Because I guess you've just taken it on. But we don't have to, right? So, one thing that I end up doing is Akashic Journey. I do it for different reasons and for different things. And this time, I'm going to be doing it on the Pitra Paksha peak day, which is 21st. I'm doing an Akashic Journey to clear ancestral karma and ancestral patterns, to basically heal your ancestors of all of the suffering and pain that they still hold on to, that maybe they are not at peace. So, when we go into the Akashic realm, there is nothing but magic that happens there. You end up seeing beings, you end up getting messages, you end up creating things, you end up surrendering things, you end up releasing certain things. So, in the Akashic realm, I'm going to be clearing ancestral karma for each one of you who join the session, who are with me. And this is going to be slightly intensive. And, I mean, don't be surprised if your life changes after that. Like, suddenly ekdam se suddenly, kuch ho gaya life mein acha. Ancestral karma is like someone just kind of like ropes, someone like a puppet upar se. Can you imagine like puppet, someone holding the puppet ka strings and just kind of you're dancing on someone else's tunes. So sometimes karmic issues and karmic lessons, karmic retribution, karmic debt looks like this. Like you're hanging from a puppet ka thread, and you feel like you're living in a choiceless universe. Now, I'm not saying that, that everything in your life is because of that. There could be like 20% of the things or suffering or karmic lessons that are because of that. It could be 70%. You don't know that. I don't know that. But that is something that you'll become aware of in this ancestral Akashic journey, where you will be able to get present and become aware of all of the spaces in your life that you are absolving karma for your ancestors, you are releasing it for them, or you are going through those life lessons because of them. Because remember, you're not alone. You are not alone. You have a tribe, you have a soul group as well. So sometimes the most evolved person, like in school, it was the most intelligent bacha, or the bacha who spoke the best, who went and presented in front of teacher, right? That's the same thing that happens here. In your soul group, there's going to be one evolved, strong, aware person, and that might be you. You might be that person to carry forward the generational stuff and to like break those cycles, break those patterns, break the generational, lineage ka karmic debt, and change something for your future generations. You could be that person who made that choice. So on 21st, I'm doing this group session. It's going to be online, it's going to be offline, and this happens only once a year. Sirf ek dafa. I might repeat it again during the veil being thin. Maybe in October, I might repeat the session again. I'm not sure. I don't commit to that. But it is for clearing all of the backlog. This is the best gift you can give your ancestors, guys. The best gift. Because when they are at peace, abundance and prosperity comes to you. When they are happy, they give you grace and blessings and support like no one else can. Trust me, they are like your personal guardian angels, but better. They are like your personal guardian angels and really rooting for you and batting for you. And a lot of times people don't care about their ancestors. They've never lit a candle for them. They've never given them an offering. They've never done any Pitra Puja. They've never done anything. And that's fine if you haven't. But now that you're aware of it, you can just keep a little picture of your ancestors, make a small little altar, just offer them just some chocolate, some candy, and some water, and light a candle for them. And watch how you start receiving blessings, guidance, direction, power, magic, fame, recognition, you name it. Not just that, even confidence. Like sometimes after you start honoring your ancestors, you would start to dream of them. You will sometimes get messages from them. You learned how to connect with them. So in this Akashic journey, you will connect with your ancestors. Some of them may give you messages during this journey. Some of them may give you divine gifts during this journey. And some of them will actually walk with you in your everyday life, supporting you and guiding you into what you need guidance for. So join me on this journey. I'm very, very excited to facilitate all of you. And if you have any questions, just drop a question down below. I'm happy to answer it for you. Maybe do another Q&A session before the actual day. But I'm very, very excited because it's going to be a collective consciousness wala dhamaka energy that we're going to create together. Remember, when 2 or more people meditate together, it creates magic. Okay, it's not like just 1 plus 1 is 2. It is ek aur ek 11. And when there are like 20 people, 30 people, 50 people together doing an Akashic journey, we end up creating a portal and a vortex, guys. We actually create a portal, and you will not believe, after the session, you just go into meditation, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and you're able to manifest anything that you want to. So I'm going to be teaching you a whole bunch of stuff on this workshop day. The Akashic Journey is the main agenda. But before that, I'm going to be covering a lot of your queries. I'm going to talk about numerology. I'm going to talk about feng shui. I'm going to talk about different things and all of the main solid questions that I've kind of gotten together from Instagram, from the previous sessions that we've had, previous workshops that we've had. And you get to ask me your questions. Whatever question you have, send it to us on Zoom. And there's a dedicated team that's going to be sitting and giving me all of those questions. And at the end of the session, after we finish, I end up doing a whole half an hour, sometimes more, on just Q&A. And I look forward to facilitating each one of you into the Akashic realm and healing your ancestral karma.